All right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are live officially. Welcome back to the show. Guys, today we actually really have some absolute bombshell breaking news to talk about. Today is Thursday, July 31st, the final day of July, and thank you all very much for tuning in today. Now, guys, as of this morning, we officially have the smoking gun. That's right, to confirm beyond any reasonable doubt that Hillary Clinton and the FBI director in 2016, James Comey, we all know about him. We now have the evidence to confirm that they did, in fact, artificially manufacture the Russian collusion hoax. We have some new declassified documentation that came out just like 3 hours ago. And as it would turn out, Hillary Clinton was the one specifically that gave the final go-ahead. And we have the documentation to prove it. So if you are someone that has been waiting to finally see accountability, if you want to see people get arrested, this is probably a good day for you. So guys, today, here's what's going to happen. We are going to first go through today's bombshell news. Then what I want to do is do a comprehensive recap of this entire situation to make sure that everyone is kind of on the same page here, because there's a lot of details and it's unfolding slowly day by day over the last 2 weeks or so. So we're going to do a retrospective and see where we are today. And then later on in the show, we're going to take a look at what Tulsi Gabbard herself has had to say about all of this just this morning, because just a couple hours ago, Tulsi Gabbard actually gave a series of interviews. She was kind of going on the podcast circuit earlier today. And so we're going to take a look at what she had to say about all of this just 2 or 3 hours ago, frankly. And she actually, as it would turn out, went on to drop some even bigger or some additional bombshell news as it relates to all of this, and also the 2020 election. So things continue to heat up here, and I think the best place to start is to jump into really what has gone on yesterday and today. So we're going to jump into that right now. So first off, thank you all very much for tuning in. Real quick, before we get to that, I do want to say thank you all. If you are new, please make sure to subscribe to the show. Please make sure to like today's broadcast, and let's get right into it. So folks, this is the news that we got yesterday afternoon. This is yesterday. Kash Patel found thousands of Russia collusion hoax documents in burn bags inside of a secret room at the FBI headquarters building. They say the conspiracy goes even deeper. One of the documents found in these burn bags was the classified annex to former special counsel John Durham's final report. Okay, so first off, what is a burn bag? A burn bag is a sort of a paper bag. It's a bag that classified information is put into for destruction so that they can destroy it at some point in the future, because they don't want the information leaking out. So a lot of this information regarding to the 2016 Russia collusion hoax was put into these burn bags, and then it was hidden away and not destroyed. Okay, why? Well, take a look at this. I want to read this headline from you for you guys. Unknown FBI hero saved thousands of classified documents from being burned. According to FBI Director Kash Patel, thousands of classified Trump-Russia investigation documents were found in, quote, burn bags in a secret room in the Hoover building. Someone, listen, had intended for the evidence to be destroyed, but it appears that someone else decided to intervene and save the documents for posterity. Kash Patel has turned over documents to Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley. One of the documents found in a burn bag was previously unseen, classified annex to former special counsel John Durham's final report. So what this means is that all of this information pertaining to this Trump-Russia collusion hoax in 2016 was meant to be destroyed. It was put in bags, burn bags, so that it could be destroyed. But someone within the FBI said, I'm not going to be complicit in this. I'm not going to help Clinton, Obama, whatever, the deep state push this narrative and then cover up the tracks. So some patriot, this is what it seems like here, is that some patriot within the FBI 9 years ago said, I'm not going to go along with this. They snatched up some of these burn bags that had some of this damning evidence or damning proof, and they hid it away so that then it could be found later to potentially bring people to justice. So that's where we're at right now. And so this is the news that came out yesterday. We found all these burn bags with classified information that was damning about this Russia collusion hoax. Well, this is where we get to today. Okay, this is the bombshell news of the morning. The Trump administration has officially declassified the information found in this Durham Annex, this information here that we're talking about, found inside of the burn bags in a secret room. This information, now that it's been declassified, we know is proving that Hillary Clinton conspired with the Obama-era FBI to push the Russia collusion hoax. Criminal. The FBI knew, and by the way, we're going to take a look at these documents. The documents are declassified. We're going to read some of them here today, and you're going to see just how insane some of this stuff is. The FBI knew the Trump-Russia accusations were likely invented by Hillary Clinton. They were invented by Hillary Clinton, but they ignored that and pushed the Steele dossier anyway. That's what the FBI used to obtain a FISA warrant to spy on Trump's campaign in 2016. It all goes back to this. And now we have, like I said, the title of today's broadcast, Smoking Gun. We know Hillary Clinton was the shot caller here. One of the shot callers here. Take a look at this. You guys want to see the smoking gun? Here it is. The declassified Durham Annex, this is just hot off the press this morning, confirms Hillary Clinton personally approved the plan to frame Trump with Russian hacking U.S. election claims to, quote, distract from her missing emails. Take a look at this. This is the now declassified document. Okay, I actually want to zoom in on this so you guys can read this. It's pretty small text here. So these are some of these burn bag documents that have now been found and declassified. HRC, that's Hillary Rodham Clinton, as they wrote in 2016, July 27th of 2016, Hillary Rodham Clinton approved Julia's idea about Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections. That should distract people from her own missing email, especially if the affair goes to the Olympic level. The point is making the Russian play a U.S. domestic issue. Folks, am I living in crazy town? This is a big deal. This is a smoking gun, as people are calling it. Hillary Rodham Clinton personally approved the idea about the Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections. They did it intentionally, explicitly to distract people from her own email scandal. If you remember the 2016 email scandal with Hillary Clinton, the point of this is to bring this Russian narrative home during election season and make it a domestic voter issue. Make people care about this, manufacture it. Now, this is another email that was now declassified from these burn bags. This is an important story because it would be the first time that we know of that a state deliberately uses the infiltration and publication of data to interfere in the U.S. election. Julie says it will be a long-term affair to demonize Putin and Trump. Now it is a good for a post-convention bounce. If you remember the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, way back when, it didn't really go the way they wanted. It didn't impact the polls the way they wanted. And so they're saying, just like mask off explicitly, yeah, this will be a long-term affair to demonize both Trump and Putin. We're going to bring this home domestically. We're going to push this fake narrative that Trump and Russia, they're working together. It's going to distract people from the Hillary Clinton email scandal. It's going to give the Democrats a post-2016 DNC, Democratic National Convention, bounce. And then this is the final thing. Later, the FBI will put more oil onto the fire. Can you guys see that? Down here on the bottom right. Later, the FBI will put more oil onto the fire. So how did they know that? How did they know that later on the FBI was going to add more onto this? It's because they were colluding. It's because this is, you want to use the word collusion, it's because this is collusion. This is collusion between the DNC, the Hillary Clinton 2016 campaign, the FBI under James Comey at the time, and the Obama era intelligence apparatus. Okay, this is all planned. This is all premeditated. And so people in the chat, I'm seeing some people are saying, we already knew this. Well, we all already kind of knew this happened, but here's the deal. If you want to actually have accountability, everybody here wants accountability. If you want accountability, if you want arrests, you have to have proof. We all knew that there was something fishy going on during the 2016 election. We all knew that this Russia collusion narrative was entirely fabricated. We all have known for 10 years it was a hoax, or 9 years that it was a hoax. But the reason why we haven't had accountability, the reason why Hillary Clinton, Comey, whatever, all these people, the reason why none of them have been held accountable is because we haven't had the concrete, firm proof. Now, that's what's coming out. Now, that's what we are getting. So if you're somebody that is like, accountability, 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 guess what? This is why what Tulsi Gabbard, our current director of national intelligence, is doing. That's why it's so important. Let me take a look at the super chats here. I see there was one that dropped off. I'm going to double back. By the way, if that was you, thank you very much for that first super chat. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much. Sometimes I miss a super chat. It's not because I'm a bad guy. It's a busy, so I appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much. We have another one here. Sauce Boss, we finally have a true pin on Comey and Hillary Clinton. It can finally be handled without any effective political scapegoating by Democrats and the media. Amazing. Enjoy making 8647 out of macaroni in prison arts class. True, Sauce Boss. Thank you very much. Yeah, he's going to be... Yeah, you know what? Fingers crossed. We can pray. If you want accountability, this is the type of stuff we need to see. This stuff does not guarantee accountability, but if you want accountability, you need to have this stuff. You need to have the proof, the evidence, the concrete confirmation. That is what we are now getting. So thank you all very much for tuning in. I appreciate that. Look here with the massive super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. We had another one here. We have a lot more to talk about, but I want to bang through these super chats here. Me up with the good news. Horst Benzula, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And also, Bovine Hillary will be unfit for trial. I don't know. Give it time. I'm not sure about that. Thank you guys very much. Let's keep on moving on here today. Let's do a comprehensive recap of this entire situation. This is in accordance with the bombshell news of today. Michael P., thank you very much. I appreciate that. Good to see you. Good morning. Back at you. Hillary Clinton approved a plan. Hillary Clinton approved plan hatched by her campaign aide to smear Trump with Russia collusion declassified documents. Let's do a total recap and break this down. As we now know, Hillary Clinton approved of a plan hatched by a top campaign advisor to smear then candidate Donald Trump with false claims of Russian collusion and distract from her own mounting email scandal during the 2016 campaign. According to explosive intelligence files declassified Thursday, just 3 hours ago. You want to talk about breaking news? You are in the breaking news zone right this very moment. The intelligence came from 2 memos obtained by the Obama administration in the lead up to the Clinton-Trump contest and laid out, quote, confidential conversations between members of the Democratic National Committee and liberal billionaire George Soros Open Society Foundations. The plan included, what was the plan? The plan included, quote, raising the theme of Putin's support for Trump and, quote, subsequently steering public opinion toward the notion that it needs to equate the Russian leader's political influence campaign with actual hacking of election infrastructure. And once again, as we now know, all of this was fabricated. Tulsi Gabbard, about a week ago, released additional information that said not only did Russia not interfere with the 2016 presidential election, but that in fact Russia didn't even have the capacity to interfere or influence the outcome of the 2016 presidential election. And that's not from Tulsi Gabbard in the year 2025. That's from Barack Obama's own intelligence assessment from his own intelligence community in the first half of 2016. The Obama-era intelligence assessment in the first half of 2016, January, February, March, April, May, was that Russia is not interfering and that they can't even interfere. But wait, it gets even crazier, okay? This very same intelligence assessment released by Tulsi Gabbard about a week ago, it said, first off, Russia's not interfering. They can't interfere. But also it said something even crazier. What it said is that Russia actually had dirt on Hillary Clinton, and Russia chose not to release the dirt on Hillary Clinton during the 2016 election because they were expecting a Hillary Clinton win and they wanted Hillary Clinton to win. Russia actually wanted Hillary Clinton to win, and so they selectively chose not to release this information on her. Their plan was to release it after she had won, but they actually wanted her to win. So not only did Russia not interfere, they didn't interfere, they couldn't interfere, and they wanted Hillary to win. And this information I'm relaying to you right now. This is the information assessment from the Obama era intelligence community in the first half of 2016. So this entire narrative, Russia collusion, Trump, Russia, completely bogus, completely, entirely, undeniably, factually, just false. Fabricated, manufactured. Let's continue reading the article here. Can I pause this so it's not freaking me out? Hillary Clinton approved a plan to smear Trump with Russia collusion. According to these declassified documents, Clinton approved a plan proposed by one of her foreign policy advisors, Julianne Smith, to, quote, smear Donald Trump by magnifying the scandal tied to the intrusion by the Russian special services in a pre-election process to benefit the Republican candidate Donald Trump. And so, by the way, somebody earlier on said, who's Julianne? Who are we talking about? Is Julia? This is who we're talking about, top Clinton campaign advisor. And she said, Hillary Clinton approved of Julia's idea. And we have the proof now. Quote, a two-pronged Democratic Party opposition is focused on discrediting Trump. Among other things, the Clinton staff, with support from special services, is preparing scandalous revelations of business relations between Trump and the Russian mafia. Do you guys remember all the way back 9 years ago? We had all of these. We had Trump. Trump has property in Russia. Trump held some type of competition in Russia. Trump has ties to the Russian mafia. Trump-Russia collusion. Putin is working. It was all of this. Okay, guess what? All of it was bullcrap. Baloney. The memos point to then President Barack Obama potentially seeking to shut down the FBI's probe of Clinton's use of a private email server to receive highly classified information while Secretary of State. They also show the origins of a plan to link Trump with Russia around 9 months before the 44th president ordered a post-election intelligence assessment claiming the same in December 2016. So you remember this was a part of this, a part of all this classified information that has now been released to us a week or 2 weeks ago by Tulsi Gabbard. Like we've said, the first half of 2016, the Obama-era intelligence apparatus, the intelligence community, they were saying one thing, and that thing was that Russia was not and that they can't interfere. And then when it started seeming like, oh man, Trump is doing pretty well. It seems like Trump is picking up some traction. People are actually supporting Trump. We're worried that Trump might win the election. We can't let Trump win the election. Hillary Clinton might lose the election. The second they started having those concerns, then it was Barack Obama explicitly telling his intelligence community, listen, we're going to push this Russian hoax. We're going to spread lies. We're going to spread disinformation and misinformation to try to shut down the Trump campaign in the second half of 2016 because they started getting worried that he was going to win the election. And it was all a hoax. The quote, special services cited in one of the memos referred to intelligence activities of Obama's CIA and FBI, which may have included the work of Trump dossier author Christopher Steele. And it goes back to that. Of course, the DNC and the Clinton campaign in conjunction paid $13 million to Christopher Steele to manufacture the Steele dossier, which is really where all of this Russia stuff originates, this fake dossier, the dossier from hell. In March 2016, then FBI Director Andrew McCabe shared the memo with senior officials at the Department of Justice, suggesting a plot to launch an investigation based on the Democratic campaign document, the Steele dossier. Open Society Foundations, and this is the society that's lockstep with George Soros. George Soros is a big player in the Open Society. So the Open Society Foundation senior vice president, Leonard Bernardo, was looped in on the scheme and laid out stages that it was projected to cover. Check this out. During the first stage of the campaign, due to lack of direct evidence, it was decided to disseminate the necessary information through the FBI-affiliated technical structures, in particular, the CrowdStrike and ThreatConnect companies, from where the information would then be disseminated through leading U.S. publications. So this is, we haven't even read through this yet. This is a big information drop. We looked at a little bit of it, but this is getting worse the more we read. So this is Leonard Bernardo, who the vice president of the Open Society, who is directly mentioned, from Leonard Bernardo. He's the guy here. What he's saying is, listen, because the Steele dossier is lacking in credibility, we're going to use the FBI to release the contents of the Steele dossier. We're going to play a shell game and kind of move things around here. It's the same fake information, but because we know the Steele dossier is lacking in credibility, we're just going to hijack the FBI and have the FBI release this information because everybody trusts the FBI. And then we're going to work in conjunction with our far left progressive US publications. Okay, far left, this is the left-wing media, to push this information that is now coming from the FBI that really originates from the Steele dossier, which is complete bogus. So they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. The media analysis of the DNC hacking appears solid, another stated. Julie says it will be a long-term affair to demonize Putin and Trump. Now it is good for a post-convention bounce. Later, the FBI will put more oil onto the fire. Once again, how did they know that the FBI was going to put more oil on the fire? It's because they were colluding. It's because they knew that they would do that because they were colluding. This is absolutely insane. Everybody is using the term smoking gun today. Is this a smoking gun? Yes or no in the live chat? I'm saying yes. One shocking July 27th, 2016 email noted, Hillary Rodham Clinton approved Julia's idea about Trump and Russian hacking hampering U.S. elections. That should distract people from her own missing email, especially if the affair goes to the Olympic level. Absolutely shameless. Really just absolutely shameless. The point is making the Russian play a U.S. domestic issue, the email also stated. In absence of direct evidence, CrowdStrike and ThreatConnect will supply the media, and GRU, which is Russia's foreign intelligence arm, will hopefully carry on to give more facts. Special counsel John Durham uncovered the information during a multi-year probe into intelligence activities during the 2016 election. Yeah. Durham consulted the FBI and CIA, both of which assessed that the intelligence was likely authentic, but couldn't corroborate exact copies of the Bernardo emails with Open Society Foundation. So, I mean, he was in on it. Of course, yeah, likely authentic. He knew the information was not authentic. The CIA also determined that the intelligence was also, note, quote, the product of Russian fabrications. Now, we have a super chat here. I want to take a look at this. John Amoroso, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Smith was, at a minimum, playing a role in the Clinton campaign's efforts to tie Trump to Russia. This entire situation is crooked. This entire situation, Obama was in on it. Senior ranking Obama-era intelligence officials were in on it. The Clinton campaign was in on it. The DNC was in on it. We're talking dozens of people that knew, that were complicit in the manufacture and dissemination of this entire fake news story. This entire story. Now, guys, one of the reasons why we know what we know now today is because, yes, we are now finding all of these, classified documents that are being declassified, but also Tulsi Gabbard is talking about having Obama-era whistleblowers come out of the woodwork and corroborate with her, work with her to hold these people accountable. So we're actually having people that were aware of this situation going on in 2016, that are now actually coming forward and speaking to Tulsi Gabbard about this. This is what Tulsi Gabbard posted like 2 hours ago. New whistleblower reveals how they were threatened by a supervisor to go along with the Obama-directed Russia hoax intelligence assessment, even though they knew it was not credible or accurate. The whistleblower refused to go along with this. Yesterday, we released the whistleblower's first-hand account of what happened in the crafting of the January 17 ICA, Intelligence Community Assessment, this fake news assessment, this year-long effort to expose the egregious manipulation and manufacturing of intelligence carried out at the highest levels of government and the intelligence community, detailed in our previous releases over the last 2 weeks, and how they were repeatedly ignored. Thank you to this courageous whistleblower and others who are coming forward now, putting their own well-being on the line to defend our democratic republic, ensuring the American people know the truth, and hold those responsible accountable. Now, this whistleblower phenomenon that Tulsi Gabbard is talking about actually corroborates what we had up on the screen earlier, right here, where, you know, all of these incriminating classified documents about how the Obama administration produced this fake intelligence report working with the Steele dossier and Hillary Clinton, etc. All of that information was supposed to be destroyed. All of this incriminating information was supposed to be put inside of burn bags, destroyed, so that nobody would ever see it, because it's incriminating, because it incriminates them in treason. Okay, well, as we now know, there was at least one person in the intelligence community back then in 2016 that said, listen, I'm not going to go along with this. I'm not complicit in this. I know what they are doing. I don't like this. And so somebody, unknown FBI hero, saved thousands of classified documents from being burned. And this is what they found yesterday or 2 days ago. They started finding all of these documents that somebody 9 years ago hid, so that someday, today, as it is today, we would be able to know exactly what they did. And now we do. Now, like I said earlier on in today's broadcast, Tulsi Gabbard actually appeared on a couple different podcasts, the Benny Johnson Show and the Glenn Beck Show, giving some further information about this entire situation. So we are going to take a look at that. We're going to see what Tulsi Gabbard had to say about all of this, and then we're going to keep breaking this down. So first off, Tulsi Gabbard talks about the deep state and the ongoing battle against the deep state. Take a look.
How many people are you surrounded by that are still part of that old system?
It's a good question. As we're finding these documents, going through them, declassifying and releasing them, we are learning more about who is actually directly involved and implicated in this. We're learning more about who may have been in the room and who was loudly protesting against it, recognizing how wrong it was. We have whistleblowers coming forward with their own documentation of their protests and their unwillingness to go along with this. So yes, there are people who are still working within the intelligence community who had a hand in this. As we are identifying them, it will give us the opportunity to make sure that they and others like them who, again, are so willing to weaponize intelligence to subvert the will of the American people can no longer work in the intelligence community.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, yes, we know for a fact we genuinely do have patriots in the intelligence community that are blowing the whistle, working with Tulsi Gabbard to hold people accountable. At least one patriot 9 years ago that knew what was going on and decided to save the proof, to save the evidence that now we have access to today. God bless that person, because that is a big deal. But also, is it possible that we had people in the intelligence community 9 years ago that actually knew about what was going on? They were a part of this. In fact, they might have been complicit in this, and now they're looking for a plea deal. Could that be? They know the guillotine is slowly coming down. Everybody's going to start losing their heads. People are going to get held accountable here pretty soon. And so you might have low-level intelligence community, officials, whatever, maybe not the head honchos, but the guys, 1 or 2 levels down. They kind of knew what was going on. And now they're coming out. They're saying, listen, yeah, I knew what they did. I may have even been a part of it, but I'm willing to blow the whistle now to help you hold these people accountable if it means immunity for me. I want immunity, and it was that guy's fault. You know, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. That could be a part of this also. Could be a part of this also. Now, there's another thing that Tulsi Gabbard said on the Glenn Beck show earlier this morning I want to play with you folks, talking about what Dan Bongino, this is about a week ago, Dan Bongino posted a very long write-up on Twitter. We actually have talked about that here on my broadcast. He said, "I'll never be the same after learning what I have learned at the FBI." Okay, Tulsi Gabbard weighs in on his very long post about a week ago.
Dan Bongino posted a cryptic message on X the other day.
I read it.
Yeah, he said, "It shocked me. What I found out at my time at the FBI has shocked me down to the core. We cannot run a republic like this, and I'll never be the same after learning what I've learned." I'm not expecting you to answer for him, but have you felt that way when you've gotten being there?
I have seen up close and personal the tactics that are used by those who care more for themselves, their ambition, their job, their influence, their political interests, their selfish, self-serving interests than they care about the Constitution. That every single one of these law enforcement and intelligence community professionals swear an oath, just like I have, both in uniform in the military and as a member of Congress and as Director of National Intelligence, to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. This is why what we are doing matters so much. So yes, I have my own frustrations, trust me, but my resolve is focused and is rooted in my love for our country and my belief in the values and principles that our country was founded upon, and therefore the responsibility that I carry to do something about that which we are revealing, that which I am seeing and experiencing firsthand. It is a heavy responsibility, but it's also an awesome one, and I spend every day doing my best to fulfill it.
Now, I want to say this again. Listen, if you are one of these people, and I think all of us are like this, accountability, drain the swamp, dismantle the deep state, hold these people accountable, put them, if they were a part of this treasonous plot. And it's not just this situation with the Obamagate hoax, the Russia collusion hoax, it's a bunch of other little situations too. We need accountability. We need perp walks. We need arrests, okay? This is what they tried to do to President Trump for years. And now, listen, we got to hold these people accountable. If that's you, if that's what you want to see, that's me, by the way. These are the motions we have to go through. The documents have to get declassified. We have to have the proof. We have to find the smoking gun. We have to have the documentation. We have to actually have the proof and the evidence. As much as we might like to just toss Hillary Clinton in a prison cell, or Barack Obama, or Comey, or whoever else, we can't just do that. It doesn't work that way. We actually have to have the investigation. We have to find the proof. We have to find the evidence. And also, we have to have somebody like a Tulsi Gabbard figure, in this case, our Director of National Intelligence, that actually not only finds all of these dots, but then is able to connect them, okay? It takes an incredible amount of time and manpower and effort. It takes a whole, it's a whole concerted effort to find the paperwork, read through the paperwork, sift through everything, and then piece it together. This person said this thing on this day, and then that led to this person saying that thing on that day, and it's all part of this, longitudinal narrative, and it was all part of this plot. That takes a lot of time. Okay, it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort, it takes manpower, and man, it really is just a monumental task. And so that is what is going on right now. That is what we're all kind of following along with. So as much as we would all like to see these people in a prison cell, and I think we will. I think we will see people get held accountable. We have to have proof and evidence. That's the way the country works. Now, Tulsi Gabbard said one more thing that I think you guys are going to want to take a listen to. She appeared on the Benny Johnson show just a couple hours ago, and she talked about, this time not the Obamagate scandal, but instead the 2020 election scandal, because we all know something weird happened with the 2020 election. Take a look at this.
You made a comment at a cabinet secretary meeting that has stuck with our audience, and they'd really love an update on it. And it's about the 2020 election. and you were talking about the security of that election, and you were telling President Trump that there has been evidence that has been uncovered of potential breaches. I'm not exactly certain, but I'd love a follow-up on this. Here's the moment right here, and perhaps do you have any updates on the 2020 election or anything that you've found, Director?
The point that I was making there in the cabinet meeting was early discovery that I had seen from a whistleblower who came forward, who was working under CISA at that time, which is responsible for critical infrastructure and trying to protect against cyber vulnerabilities, critical infrastructure, including, of course, the integrity of our election systems. And what was interesting was seeing how this whistleblower brought forward information that CISA at that time, the federal government, was aware of vulnerabilities in our election machines, but they chose not to disclose that information to the American people or to the administration at that time. This is an area, of course, of critical importance, once again, for the American people to have faith in the integrity of our elections. And that.
Listen, guys, I'm going to let her finish here in a minute, but we really should just have National Voting Day. Everybody gets the day off work. It's a federal holiday. Go vote. No electronic voting, no online voting, no mail-in voting, paper ballots at a voting booth as if the year was 1952. Everybody gets a day off work, go vote. If you don't want to, fine, don't do it, but everybody has the chance, and you have to show an ID. You have to show an ID to do it. Why do we not do this? This would, like, just overnight, immediately, this would solve all of our problems. Go vote, go do it. Nothing electronic, just go vote and just go do it and show an ID.
It is their voice that is heard through these elections. We're continuing to investigate this, and when we have information that we're ready to release, you'll hear about it.
Okay, so we're going to be hearing more on the.
And she says, how does she end that? When we have information to release regarding maybe some fraudulent votes going on in the 2020 election, we're going to release that information. And she has a little bit of a cheeky smile when she says that. So Tulsi Gabbard is cooking up something regarding the 2020 election. Now, sort of as a final note here, I want to address something, and this is important. I see sometimes people say, oh, who cares about all of this? Nobody ever gets held accountable. Nobody's going to go to prison. Nothing ever happens. Okay, well, you know what? Let's actually go down that. I lost my mouse. There's my mouse. Let me go ahead and quickly address that talking point. Who's one of these people in the chat that says nothing ever happens, nobody's going to go to prison, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you know what? I can understand that mindset because we have a long history of people not getting held accountable. So I can actually kind of sympathize and I can kind of relate to that mindset because you're right. You're right in some regard. We should have a lot more people from the deep state, from the Democratic Party, even some people from the Republican Party that maybe should be in prison that are not. We have a lack of accountability. It's a big problem that we have in this country. You are right. However, also at the same time, let's talk about this situation specifically regarding the Obamagate, Russian collusion, fake narrative. Let's go doomsday hyperbolic mode and talk about the worst case scenario as it relates to all of this. Let's say, and by the way, I don't think this is going to be the case. I think people will be held accountable here. I think we have the smoking gun now, one of the smoking guns. But let's say nobody is arrested and nobody is held accountable as it relates to this entire ongoing Obamagate Russia collusion scandal. Still, even if that is the case, it is still worth discussing all of this information. It is still important for Tulsi Gabbard to release all of the classified information. It's important for the American people to know about all of this, which means it's important for us to do live broadcasts like this, talking about it. It's important for you to know about it, for you to talk about it with your friends and family and loved ones when you're talking politics at the dinner table. Even if nobody ever gets held accountable, it is still important for us to know about it and for us to talk about it, because let me give you a little fun fact or depressing fact of the day. Still to this day in the year 2025, over 60, I heard 63 or 64% of Democrat voters still believe that Trump was a Russian asset. Still to this day, 9 years, almost 10 years later, 63% of Democrat voters still believe that Trump is a Russian asset or was a Russian asset. And so we all have seen the degree to which fake news narratives can impact and influence the outcome of elections. Most certainly, regrettably, I hate that this is the case, but it is the case nonetheless. Most certainly, this Russia collusion fake news narrative created, manufactured by the Democrats in 2016, it has been consequential. It has had some impact. Maybe some people that would have voted Republican in 2016 or, in midterms or whatever, at some point in the last 9 years, they have said, oh, well, I can't support a Russian patsy or a Russian, I'm going to go vote Democrat now, or I'm just not going to vote at all. Most certainly, this entire fabricated fake news narrative, it has been consequential. It has had an impact. And so, once again, even if nobody ever gets held accountable for this entire situation, and I think people will be, but we're talking about nobody gets held accountable here. Still, it is important because it's narratives like this shedding the truth and shedding light on this fake news narrative. It changes minds. It influences voters. This stuff can win elections in the future. So it is still important to talk about this. All it's going to take is 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 people to say, hold up, wait a minute. The Democrats manufactured a fake Russian collusion narrative. That's it. I'm never voting Democrat again. Or you know what? I was an undecided swing vote or centrist. And wait a minute. I'm hearing that the Democrats manufactured a fake Russian collusion narrative. That's it. I'm never voting for them again. Right? It's situations like that. It's influencing the minds of voters and also setting the record straight, spreading real news, factual information as opposed to all of their fake news bullshit information, right? Fact checking and correcting the record. That is what's important. And so once again, even if nobody gets held accountable, and I think they will, still it's important to do. Now, let me take a look at this. We have some super chats here. I want to go through these real quick. Why are most all Republican women good looking? Also, when are you going to change the oil in that hat? Great show. I'm not sure about the hat comment, but well, all I can say is my wife is conservative and she is good looking. That's all I can say. So, hey, thank you. Listen, Bill Callahan, I appreciate that a lot. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. That's a big super chat. Billy Baxter, thank you very much. I got to say it again, Billy, everybody here. I think we are going to see people get held accountable. And who knows who it is? Who knows if it's Barack Obama for treason or Hillary Clinton for something or Comey or whoever else. I think we are, in fact, going to see people get held accountable, though. That's my bet. If I was at a Vegas betting table and I had to put a bet down right now, we're going to see people in the next year get held accountable for this. That's what I think. I think it's hard to fight back against this overwhelming amount of proof and evidence confirming that this is what they did. And now we know what they did. And also Leon Smith with a massive super chat. Thank you also, Leon. Thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, that's actually really all I had to talk about today. This is the best recap I could give you guys of what has been going on and what is currently going on today. We had some breaking news information that I wanted to talk about with you guys today. So I think at this point, I should probably wrap up the show. I'm going to get to work on making a video for you guys that I'll have uploaded later today on my YouTube channel. Guys, make sure to subscribe here on YouTube. Make sure to like today's broadcast. Make sure to follow on Rumble. I'm going to be doing a lot of multi-streaming here on Rumble here pretty soon. That means live on Rumble and YouTube at the same time. So go follow on Rumble. My name is Matt Morris TV on Rumble. And make sure to follow on X. My name is Matt Morris TV on X for breaking news updates. So thank you all very much for tuning in today. Great broadcast, great audience, great news, really just a great day. So thank you guys. Everybody have a good afternoon, and I will in the next couple hours have a YouTube video for you guys. So everybody take care, and I'll see you on tomorrow's live broadcast.